Hey, what's going on, guys? Today I thought I would rank every single zombies map on a tier list because Cold War Zombies is coming out with new maps, so I thought I should rank the original maps. These are all in order. Even the Black Ops 4 maps are on here because I thought I can't leave them out because they technically are Treyarch maps. So I'm not including Infinite Warfare, Advanced Warfare, the weird thing in Mob in Ghost, the alien thing in Ghost. This is just Treyarch zombie maps. No custom maps, just the ones that Treyarch made. Anyway, I'm going to start off with Nacht der Untoten, the first zombies map ever made. I find it really difficult to rank this map, mainly because it's the first map, so I always try to rank Nacht in the middle. Obviously it can't be B tier, because that's just too high, so I'll put it C tier. That's kind of like the middle ground, and as it's the first map, you've got to cut it some slack. You've got to go right. I'm not going to rank this F just because it's the first map, so I'm going to rank it C just because of how much it innovated from nothing, basically, from a fucking multiplayer and campaign map to that. Pretty insane. Verrückt, I don't know, man. The 69 of Verrückt has not been great so far, but Verrückt, I'd say, either is on par with Nacht or slightly above, but Verrückt does have major issues, which is why I'm going to leave it on the same tier as Nacht, because the Super Sprinters make it way too difficult. Not that that's a complaint, because I do enjoy playing some Verrückt. It's quite fun because of the difficulty. So yeah, Shi No Numa, I'd say Shi No Numa's too easy. It has the different side of the spectrum. Verrückt's too hard, Shi No Numa's too easy. So I think Shi No Numa's it's going in C. I do like Shi No Numa, but it's not very memorable. Obviously it has the Flogger, which is the greatest trap of all time. It also added the Wunderwaffe. Verrückt added perks, but they both have major issues. So I'm going to give them the same as Nacht, and Nacht's got major issues too. Most of the World at War maps do, but that's why they're there. I'm ranking this on how playable the maps are and how fun they are to play. I'm not ranking this on anything else. Now, Der Riese is the most playable of all of the World at War maps. It is the most unique. It added Pack-a-Punch. Was hated at the time, but people loved it. Obviously, people can't play any of the other maps without Pack-a-Punch now. They hate going back to them. But yeah, I'd say Der Riese is special. Der Riese has dogs in it. They're tanky as fuck. They're difficult to kill. Der Riese does have an issue though. There is a Wunderwaffe glitch where if you shoot it at the floor, it does do damage, or it takes away your jug, sorry. So in solo it's quite difficult to play with the Wunderwaffe, but you can play without it, and Der Riese is a fantastic map. And for that reason, I'm giving it an S tier just because of how much it innovated and how it helped pave the way for the new zombie maps. Because this is the first, in my opinion, the first decent zombies map. It had space, it had Pack-a-Punch, it had simple Pack-a-Punch, it added teleporters, it added, well, it just had electric trucks, which were already on Verrückt, but still, it innovated, and it also added in more than 24 zombies per round. Only 24 zombies can spawn in at once on Der Riese, but there's more than 24 zombies per round. So that made zombies more challenging as well as, because the rest of the original maps, Nacht, Verrückt and Shi No, you could only have 24 zombies per round, which made them a little bit easier to get to ridiculous high rounds on if you were talented enough. Now, Kino der Toten. Kino der Toten doesn't have many issues, to be fair to it. They added the Thunder Gun for Kino der Toten. Fucking great weapon. One of my favourite, probably my favourite wonder weapon of all time. Kino der Toten though, it's very good. Everyone knows this map. It's like the go-to map for anyone. Like you say, you know that, you ever talk about zombies to anyone and they're like, oh yeah, the one in the theatre or whatever. They all know this map. This map is so memorable, and it made loads of, this basically helped grow the zombies community because there was a new wave of people coming in for Kino der Toten. I love Kino der Toten. Many people shit on it because it's too easy. The only thing I don't like about this map is the Nova Crawlers, and it is a little too easy, but for that reason I'm going to give it, it's between S or A. I mean, I can't really decide. I may change it later on in the list, but for now I'm going to put it in A tier. Yes, Der Riese is over Kino der Toten because Der Riese innovated a lot in comparison to the other maps. Kino der Toten kind of just used the same formula, which I'm okay with, but it added Nova Crawlers. Now 5. 5 is basically a map that you either love or you hate. I don't love it, right? But I like it more than I hate it because it was quite ballsy. The only thing I really hate about 5, I can deal with the Pentagon Thief. He's a good boss. He's challenging, he's unique, he's cool. I like the 5 boss, I like the Pentagon Thief. The only thing I dislike about this map is how much money you need to get to the power switch. You have to open up the door in spawn, so that's one door. You have to open the elevator up, the first elevator, sorry, up. Go downstairs, it's another 500 points or whatever. You open the stairs that you need to open. Then you have to open 5 doors and the elevator. Technically 6 things to get to power. That's the most on any map. It's such a ball ache to get to power on this map, and it makes it quite a challenging map. Although, it's a pretty good map. It doesn't have great training areas, which makes you have to use your imagination. I remember when I used to play this with my friends, we used to just camp in the elevator and just go up and down, basically. There isn't much for a team to do on this map, but it's pretty unique. The Wonder Weapon's complete dog shit, so for that reason, I'm gonna... I don't know if it's going to go above the World at War map. You know what? It's got to go above the World at War maps because it's not severely broken, but it's just... It feels like a World at War map in many ways, but with just extra doors because you have to kind of camp. There's no real good training area. There's one good training area like the rest of these maps. So it's either a B or a C. You know what? I'm going to give it a C just because it feels like it's on the same wavelength as World at War maps, in my personal opinion. Yes, there is a different boss zombie, but... It kind of feels like a World at War map in terms of layout. Now, Ascension is probably the first of the modern style zombie maps. It has abundance of room for you to move around. You can train anywhere. There's how many good training spots? You've got the landing pad, you've got the spawn room, that's 2. The pack punch area, you can also train there, that's 3. You can also train at the other landing pad near Stamina Up, kind of. You can train there. So there's 4 good training areas on this map. Whereas in the early maps, 1 good training area on each of these. There's 1 good training area in Kino. Obviously, Doris, you either camp or you run the whole map. So they've both still got 1 training area. There's none of these maps that have multiple training areas. None of them. I mean, you could argue Nax kind of does and Shino kind of does, but they're not great. All of the Ascension training areas are brilliant. Ascension also added in the monkeys. The monkeys make it very fun and interesting because they take your perks. They're complete bastards and they make it hard because there's so much space on the map. It's really easy to go high rounds, but then the monkeys don't fucking die, so they make it really challenging and they give a kind of challenging nature to the map. And this is one of my favourite maps, if I'm being honest. And to me, it's better than Kino. Many people think Kino is better than Ascension, but I love Ascension. I'm playing it on Black Ops 1. You've got like the drunken zombies. It's fucking hilarious to play, to be honest. Now, Call of the Dead is grey, right? It's grey. It's a good map, though. Don't get me wrong, it's a great map. They added George Romero, who is one of my favourite bosses, although he's a complete prick. He's one of my favourite bosses because he's so unique. He adds a different level of concentration to the map, and he forces you to train. You cannot camp. By this point, most people still camped on the majority of these maps. Most people still camped. So Call of the Dead was kind of a turning point in that they didn't want you to camp anymore, so they put George Romero in to follow you around and be a complete prick. The wonder weapons for this map are the VR11, the Scavenger. The Scavenger is sick. It's one of my favourite wonder weapons to date. It's basically a sniper, you know the crossbow in Black Ops 1? If you've ever played it, it's basically a sniper version of that, except they don't follow the crossbow bolt. It's just like an explosive sniper, right? It's pretty cool, and it does a lot of damage. It's very, very useful for this map. The VR11, pretty dog shit. You can turn zombies into humans one at a time, but if you have a teammate with you, you can shoot them with the VR11 pack punched, I believe, and they basically get an insta-kill, and they can just kill everything. So, Call of the Dead, very weird one. It has zip lines as well. It did innovate quite a lot, and I love the characters in this, to be fair. It's got some of my favourite characters. For that reason, I'm giving Call of the Dead an A or B. An A or B or A or B. Is it as good as... It's as good as Kino. In my eyes, it's as good as Kino. I really like Call of the Dead. Many people hate it, but it's a good map. Not for high rounds, but for general atmosphere and playing it. Again, there's probably only like 1 or 2 good training areas. There's 1 very good training area on Call of the Dead. But these are all like bog standard maps. Ascension's the only map here that is modern, in my opinion. Anyway. Shangri-La. Shangri-La is the most frustrating anal penetrating map there is. For 2 reasons. Fire zombies are complete bastards. There's also monkeys that steal your power-ups. And there's also shrieker zombies. The shrieker zombies blur your vision, so you can't see jack shit. The fire zombies are basically just members of ISIS, so they just decide when they want to blow you up, so they're complete dickheads. And the monkeys then steal your power-ups. Say if you get a max ammo, a monkey comes along and fucking takes it. And mixes it up. But you can use them to your advantage to get more max ammos if you want to. Shangri-La is a map for very, very skilled players. The wonder weapon in Shangri-La is the Baby Maker, which is very, very good actually. It's not as good as in the Chronicles. It's not as good as the original. I know that much. But I kind of do dig Shangri-La. It's not one of my favourites, mainly because of the difficulty and the fact how frustrated I've got on this map. Because the setup process isn't long, but it's just frustrating when you keep dying to the fucking fire zombies or something. I've never actually done the Shangri-La Easter egg either, which is kind of sad. But I know what it is. Shangri-La, to me, personally, I would rather play any of these 4 maps here than Shangri-La. Shangri-La is a beautiful map. It's a great map. But it's not my thing, alright? So don't hate me for putting Shangri-La at D tier. Personally, I don't like Shangri-La. It's my personal preference. You can't change that, and I'm sorry. I don't know. I do like Shangri-La though. It's a nice looking map with a good team. It's quite fun, but it's only fun like 1 out of 100 attempts on the map. It's just Shangri-La. It is what it is. Now Moon. Moon also has a really cool wonder weapon. It has the wave gun or the max wave gun. It's fucking sick, right? It has a moon bloke, a spaceman that follows you around, a dickhead, basically. Has the excavators, which basically cut off your oxygen supply, so you can't carry around the hacker device all the time. And if you didn't know, the hacker device allows you to hack various things. You can hack drops to get max ammos. You can just basically hack things. It's an early version of what is it? It's something that's like the hack device. I just can't think of what it's called. But it's Moon. Moon is good. There's at least 2 main training areas on Moon. Obviously, the Biodome is the main one. You can also train kind of outside the Biodome. I also like the Area 51 place where you spawn in by Pack-a-Punch. That is really unique and cool. I do like Moon a lot. Obviously, for high rounds, it's quite easy if you know what you're doing, of course. Moon is a very easy high round map. There is Nova Crawlers that teleport. So they're complete dickheads. I was moaning about the ones on Kino. The ones on Moon are 10 times worse because they literally teleport right to you and bum you anally, literally anally. And anytime you're inside, you got to watch them. The only reason I dislike Moon is because I always hated having to go and get rid of the excavators, having to get the hacker device. And 9 times out of 10, I'm not great, right? I haven't played this map in a long time, but I used to get killed more often by not the lack of oxygen than anything else. For that reason, I'm going to give Moon a B tier because it's better than the rest of these maps. In my opinion, it's better than Nacht, it's better than Varrock, it's better than Shino, better than 5. It's probably better than Shangri-La and all. But it's not as good as Call of the Dead or Kino, in my opinion. This is purely my opinion. So, we'll continue. Transit. Now, Transit it's fun, right? It's not a good map. The Easter egg's dog shit. The wonder weapon is also dog shit. The bus, fucking amazing. Ted, fucking amazing as well. The only reason I like Transit is because of its casual nature, and it really does wonders for casual playing. If you're playing a map with 4 players, there's not many more maps I'd rather be on than Transit. Although we know we're going to die in an early round, it's just fun getting there. The Denizens are cunts. There's loads of bad things about this map, but somehow I always seem to have fun on it. I'm not going to rank it ridiculously highly. I'm going to rank it D tier because it's not on the level of these boys. I'd rather play these boys than Transit, but there's something special about Transit. It's not poor. It's not poor. It's a good map in its own right, but it's just Transit. Nuketown Zombies F tier. For one reason, the lack of space and the fact the only good thing this map's good for is for training yourself. Go to round 20 and try and survive because it's that much of a challenge, this map. The perks drop every 5 or so rounds, so you could be waiting till round 25 for your Juggernog or your Pack-a-Punch, which you need on Black Ops 2. It's one of the hardest maps out there, to be fair. I got pretty good at this map because it's the only map pack I had for a long time in Black Ops 2 because I was a cheap ass. But, yeah, it's worse than Transit. I'd rather play Transit than Nuketown. It's just frustrating. Die Rise, F. Johnny J. That's all I have to say. Mob of the Dead. Ooh, this is an interesting one. I'm going to give this an instant S tier. Because, hang on, we'll do it this way. Because it has so many unique things that got added into Zombies that I really, really like. First off, the characters. The characters and the storyline behind this map are fucking sick, right? They are amazing. They are my, probably, after the, what's it called? Takio and all that, Ultimus and Primus, they're my second favourite crew. They're in one map, and they're my favourite. That says a lot. They've got a lot of character about them. Obviously, set on Alcatraz, one of the most infamous prisons of all time. It's a pretty cool map anyways. But you also have the Hell's Retriever and the Hell's Redeemer, which you get by filling the dogs' heads, which is the first map where it kind of implemented soul collecting? Soul collecting, yes. Smart boy. Except for Moon, obviously, because you're with the Easter egg. But it gives you a reward for collecting souls for these dogs. And you get this really cool Tomahawk, which is sick. The wonder weapon for this map is the Blundergat. The Blundergat is also amazing. They realised we liked good shotguns, so like, shotgun good. So they gave us a wonder weapon that is a shotgun. Even this thing just pack-punched into the sweeper dominates. Let alone you making it into the Vitrolic Withering. If you make it into the Vitrolic Withering, it's basically one of the Black Ops 1 bow pack-punched on steroids. It blows them up as well. It's pretty good until like round 40, 50, and then it kind of drops off. But it's very fun to use, and you can use it basically like a monkey bomb as well. It's a very, very useful piece of equipment. They also added a shield on this map. I can't remember if this is the first map with a shield, but I know it has a shield on it. I'd say it's one of the first maps with a shield on it, definitely. Transit has a shield on it, fuck, never mind. It also has Brutus's, or Brutus, which is a warden that follows you around the map. It kind of fits the theme of the map really well, and he's quite a difficult boss to defeat. It's not really difficult, but he gives it a challenge. There always has to be a challenge on a map, and he's the challenge for this map. Also, the Easter egg, or even getting to Pack-a-Punch on this map is really cool. You build a fucking plane on top of Alcatraz, and you escape the prison, you get to the Golden Gates Bridge, and you Pack-a-Punch. It's pretty cool. Obviously, the Easter egg for this map, when you find out what it is pretty cool, because you fight your fucking teammate, which is pretty sick. But doing it is very, very boring, because you just collect the same parts over and over again. Or the fuel or whatever. Buried. Buried is far too easy. You get the Paralyzer, which is one of the best wonder weapons known to mankind. You can fucking fly with this thing. You can shred people with it. It's really good. You also get Leroy Jenkins. Now you get Leroy, who is one of the greatest things about this map. He busts into things. He can build stuff for you. So even if you're a shit player, you can make the buildables. He's very good for helping bad players. He's great. The witches piss me off just a little bit. When I'm going to go to Pack-a-Punch on this map, I generally just spend all my points first, knowing that the witches are going to take all my fucking money anyway, and then do it. Also, perma-perks in this map make it very easy to get high rounds. Especially when camping at Jug, you can snipe and get perma-perks, and you're basically set. It's a very easy map, if you know what you're doing, of course. That's basically the story of my life for these maps. But the only reason I'm going to give it an A and not an S is because it doesn't have that threat that the other maps have. It has the witches, but they're not a threat. It's not difficult, which makes it an A tier. It's a very fun map, don't get me wrong. I love Buried to my core, just like I love Kino and Call of the Dead. I love them, but they just, all of them suffer from different issues. And Buried has many good camping spots, not many training spots. I don't think there's any training spots on Buried. So it forces you to camp, which is kind of easy and boring. So that's why it gets A tier. But it's a very good map, don't get me wrong. Origins, okay. What? Fucking hell, I have a lot to talk about. Robots, staffs, panzers, tanks, lots of shit in this map. So first off, you have generators, which you have to charge up around the map. Instead of having a regular power switch, which you do on the rest of these maps, you have to go get some generators on. So there is 5 of them, That also helps you unlock Pack-a-Punch as well, which is pretty cool. Although they are quite frustrating to do, and then you get the fucking stupid Templar zombies that go and attack them, and then you have to go do it again. So the power on this map's pretty dog shit, from being fucking honest. I don't like it at all. The robots are really cool. The fact that you can go inside them to get staff parts as well is also really cool, although it can be frustrating when trying to get the Wind Star for the Easter egg. Origins has the best Easter egg, in my opinion, out of any. Obviously, the payoff at the end, just seeing Samantha play with some toys, yeah, that's fucking shit. I don't care. It's a shit Easter egg for the end of it. But doing the Easter eggs is actually really enjoyable if you know what you're doing. If you're with some players that have fuck all clue what they're doing, it can be the most frustrating map you will ever play. The only way I ever have fun on Origins is if I play with people that know what they're doing, if I'm being honest. It's then very fun. Obviously, you've got all the stuff. You've got the ice staff, the fire staff, the lightning staff, and the wind staff. So you've got plenty of good wonder weapons to choose from. You can also upgrade them as well. But what I find most interesting about this map is the fact that none of it seems to be the same. There is so much you can do. You can train in the crazy place. You can train in the map. You can camp down a tunnel. You've got endless possibilities on Origins, and that's what I really like about Origins. I also love the Easter egg, how you can do any step at any given time. You could go in and you could go get your G-Strikes or your Ching Chang Walla, whatever you want to do, because you can fill them soul chests, or you can go get your G-Strikes first. It's your choice. You can do it at your own pace, and that's what I really love about it. It's not set to, you have to do this step, then this step. You can do it at whatever kind of speed you like. You can build all the staffs first and upgrade them first, or you can start doing other things first. That's what I really like about the Origins Easter egg. And for that reason, I'm actually going to give it an S tier. It could be on the A tier, but I'm going to give it an S tier. Plus Panzers. What a great boss to have. They're very annoying and very overpowered, but with a staff, obviously you can handle them. And also the Boomhilda. There's so many great things about this map that I have not talked about. It has to be S tier, to be honest. Shadows of Evil. In 2015, when I had my PS3 and I bought this on my PS3, I thought this was the worst zombies map ever made. Since then, I got a PS4 and I played it a little bit more. Over the past few years, I would say, I've learnt to love this map. Every time I play it, I'm like, wow, this map's amazing. And it gets better and better. Every time I play this map, it gets better and better. The only reason I think I hated this map to begin with is because I knew nothing about it and I never wanted to, because I always felt like it was like fucking Extinction from Ghosts. I never really liked this map to begin with, but over time it's grown on me. It's kind of got the Darius style. There's 3 separate ways you can go to do 3 separate rituals to then unlock power, or not unlock power, unlock Pack-a-Punch. So it's similar in that aspect to Darius, so it was already using a winning strategy. It also adds in the Apothicon Servant, which is arguably the best wonder weapon ever made. It also has Margwas, which are pretty unique bosses. Meatballs and the alien jizz monkey thingamabobs that fly about and basically just put jizz on your face. Has a few unique bosses. And it's just quite fun to play, especially with friends. This is quite a friendly map, to be honest, for noobs, because only one of you needs to know everything. With Origins, you all need to know everything, but with Shadows, to be honest, only one person needs to know how to play the map for you to enjoy it. And it's a very enjoyable map. There's so many things to do. You've got little Arnie upgrades. You can get free Mega Gobblegums if you want. There's so many little intricate Easter eggs. You can get the Civil Protector. You can build the shield. You can build the Apothicon Servant. You can get a Margwa fucking face mask if you want. You can get a big sword. You can upgrade the sword. There's so many things that are really, really good on this map. And to be honest, I don't know where I'm going to put it. Because I love this map. I really do. I don't know if it's an S tier. Just because it's Shadows. Just because it's Shadows. But it's definitely A tier. I need to make a new tier right here. I need a one in the middle just for Shadows, to be honest. I'm not sure. I do love Shadows of Evil. I do. It just gets very... I don't know. It just gets very samey, and then I get bored of it. Whereas the other maps, there's so much to do, I never get bored. Although on Shadows, there is a lot to do. So, I'm just going to put it at A. The only reason for this ranking is because once you've done every Easter egg on this map, there's not many combinations of them you do. You just regularly build the Apothicon Servant, and you do the sword to survive. That's it. That's basically it. You don't go and do the other little Annie Easter egg and all that, and the shield Easter egg, because it's just not worth wasting your time on. Whereas the other ones, I do some of them just for the hell of it, to be honest. And there's a lot more to do. Obviously, with the recent Ascension, there's like one little Easter egg, but fuck it. It's my list. The Eisendrache B. Don't cry. Don't cry. I don't like the Eisendrache. It's basically a straight copy from Mob of the Dead with the dragon heads. Yeah, we all knew that, but it is. The standard bow, complete dog shit. Obviously, it's going to be. The upgrades are really cool and easy to do, especially the lightning, but they're too easy to do is my only issue. The bow upgrades are too easy to do, and you basically have to, every time you play the map, you have to fill up these heads. You can't have a normal game of this map. It's a bit like Origins. You can't have a normal game of the map and you force down this same thing where you have to fill up the heads as you're setting up. Whereas on Mob of the Dead, you really don't need it. You don't need the tomahawk. But on this, you need the bow to survive. It's really gay. The Death Ray is one of the best traps ever. Yeah, can have that argument. It's an amazing trap, which also makes the map pretty easy. You've also got the Panzer, who's quite a hard boss, but with the bows is really easy to kill. You can literally get to round 50 by using the lightning bow, by standing, or the storm bow, whatever you want to call it, by standing in the corner and going, just drawing back your bow with alchemical. And to me, that's not fun. And I don't like the setup for this map, because if you die while doing the setup, you are fucking distraught. And it just doesn't sit right with me. Many people love the Eisendrache. I can't get behind it. I don't personally like it. But if you do like it, fair enough. But I'm not a Eisendrache man, I'll be honest. Zetsubou no Shima. Not a Zetsubou man either, if I'm being honest. It's going at the same list as the Eisendrache. Zetsubou has really cool bosses. The Wonder Weapon is really cool. I like being a spider for the Easter egg. That's really cool also. The only issue I really have with Zetsubou is that it's just Shi no Numa with extra steps. It's basically a direct port, if I'm being honest. Well, it's not a direct port, but it feels like Shi no Numa when I'm playing it. It's a good map, don't get me wrong. I do like Zetsubou, but not as much as the rest of these maps. I prefer all of these maps over these maps. Obviously, that's what the fucking tier's for, but I have a few major issues with Zetsubou, but I'm not going to discuss them now. Gorod Kurovi. Banger of a map. It's going in the A tier. Fucking Nikolai boss fight, where you kill him while he's in a fucking tank suit thing. Freaking cool. You get Mark III ray gun. Also, pretty sick. Innovation. Fucking dragons in this map. Also, really sick. Obviously, I just hated on the Eisendrache's dragons, but fuck that. Gorod's dragons are amazing. You get to fucking fly these dragons. It's sick. I also like the trailer for this, where it's got Peter McCain with his parachute. Kind of links all the story together, and I really like it, if I'm being honest. This map, to me, is really good. I've never done the Easter egg on this map, so I don't know what it is. I've seen people do it, which is pretty cool, but never done it myself. What's it called? The flying blokes, the dog round, if you will. The flying blokes with the hands, they're pretty gay to defeat, because they're really annoying when they zap you. But apart from that, I haven't got really much to hate on Gorod Kurovi. The Easter egg's really cool when you fight Nikolai. I've just said I didn't know what the Easter egg was. Fuck. No, when you fight Nikolai, it's a sick Easter egg. I love the Easter egg for Gorod Kurovi. I love the map itself. I like the traps. The only thing with Gorod Kurovi that I really have a hatred towards is the fact there's a lack of no training area, really. There's not a great training area in Gorod Kurovi. You have to camp with the Mark IIIs. So it doesn't give you much freedom in that sense, but still, very cool map, and it deserves an A tier rank, I believe, personally. Revelations. B tier. Too easy. You get the Thunder Gun, you get the Apothicant Servant. You can even upgrade the Apothicant Servant if you really want. You also get, I think they're the two big wonder weapons you get, to be fair, but I don't know if you can get the Mark II, but you can get the Rifty 9, you can get the Banshee, some of the greatest wonder weapons ever, you know. Nah. But Revelations is just a mash of all the maps. Therefore, to me, it's not really its own map. It doesn't have its own identity. There's a few cool things. You can do the anti-gravity free perk, which is quite a cool little Easter egg. There's a few cool little Easter eggs to this map. I really do enjoy zapping a massive monster with a massive death ray and opening its mouth and going and shooting out Pack-a-Punch myself. Really cool, don't get me wrong. But Revelations, far too easy. It has the same issue that Buried has, except Buried has its own really cool Western identity, whereas Revelations tries to steal other maps' identities, and it doesn't really have its own. Obviously, hardcore Revelations fans are going to be out here like, I'm going to shoot your nan, but to me, it's a B-tier map. Blood of the Dead. Ugh, Blood of the Dead. Considering Mob of the Dead's here, right, you would expect Blood of the Dead to be better than Mob of the Dead, but it's Black Ops 4, so... Blood of the Dead, it's either a D or an F. I'm going to give it... I don't want to put it on the same as Transit, if I'm being honest. Blood of the Dead, to me, I haven't played it an awful lot, I'll be honest. I haven't played Blood of the Dead a lot at all, to be honest. It's Blood of the Dead. It's a fucking disgrace. Mob of the Dead is such a great map, and they massacred my boy by making Blood of the Dead a map, and I hate Blood of the Dead so much. I hate the fucking catwalk area in it where you get hit from the side. That's 99.9% of the time where I die. The Magnum... The Jesus Christ. They made the Acid Gap fucking worthless. And they also added the Magma Gap. The Magma Gap being one of the most broken things in the map, which is pretty cool. But it also can hurt you, so it's very good because it gives you a little bit of danger, if you will. But it's just bland. It's a remaster, but it's worse. They opened up shittier areas of the map. I'd rather play the original Mob of the Dead any day of the week than Blood of the Dead. I don't like Blood of the Dead, and for that reason it's on D. Although it can be quite fun. The Easter egg for all of the Black Ops 4 maps are too difficult and are almost impossible. Considering the Black Ops 3 maps had something like something between 30 and 60% pass rate of everyone completing the Easter egg, or like 30 to 60% of players completed the Easter egg on all of the maps. Whereas the Black Ops 4 one is in on like 10% of players, or like even, I think it's less than 10% of players completed the Easter eggs, because they're so difficult. They made the Easter eggs far too difficult for casual players. And I never did the Blood of the Dead Easter egg, mainly because it blue screened a lot when it first fucking released, but there is that. It's not great. Classified. I like Classified. It's my favourite one of my favourite Black Ops 4 maps, and it's getting a C tier. Yes, it's the same as 5 with a bit of added touches, but they opened good parts of the map. They opened parts of the map that I wanted to see open. They also added that thing. I only ever played it on that. I don't know if it was on the other maps, where it gives you like challenges to do, like if you move you start to die and stuff. I found that really fun and enjoyable with friends, although I only ever played with randoms on Black Ops 4. But it's just quite funny to watch and play with. There's not many good things about Classified, but it's the best of the bunch. Really, it just opened up better areas of the map, and it had that really cool feature in it that I liked. That's about it. Voyage of Despair, F tier. Too tight. I fucking hate being forced down lanes. But this is saying something, because the only other two maps in here are Nuketown Zombies and Die Rise. These are complete dog shit maps. But Voyage of Despair to me is also another dog shit map. It's too tight. The Kraken Wonder Weapon is not great. It's too complicated. There's too many doors. They're the only real issues. You can't really train on the map easily. You have to be a fucking god to train on this map. You basically have to camp. But camping's not really viable unless you've got all of the elixirs and random other shit that you need that aren't even in the game. I'd rather set up in the game than have to set up outside of it personally. And for that reason, it's getting an F tier. Because you can't have any fun on Voyage of Despair unless you're fully set up outside of the game, which is stupid. 9 is also getting a C tier. It's a good map. It has one really cool training area, has a really cool theme to it. I like my Romans quite a lot. The Tigers are really unique and cool. Obviously, when they literally just molested you before they got a patch, they're a bit overpowered, but pretty cool. I also like the arena area with the fire, because it mixes it up a bit. You can't just train in a regular fashion, because if the fire comes on, you have to turn around and do your little figure of eights and all of that. And it makes it quite fun. Not really challenging. The Easter egg for it is very challenging, like the whole of Black Ops 4. But quite a fun map. And I played these two definitely the most out of all the Black Ops 4 maps, if I'm being honest. And I do really dig 9. And I did try and play it with two players who had never played zombies in their entire life. They did rage quit, because me and my friend were really good and these other two were terrible. but they still had a decent amount of fun playing it, to be honest. And it's kind of the most noob-friendly map out of all the Black Ops 4 maps. There is no noob-friendly maps at all, so it has that going for it. The only thing I don't like about this map is obviously the perk identification is completely gone. They fucking blend into the walls, so I didn't know what I was doing when I first played this map. Dead of the Night, not gonna lie, I haven't played it, and I don't know anything about it, so I'm just gonna give it a D tier because it's Black Ops 4, so don't hate me if I'm really doing this wrong. Same with Ancient Evil, I haven't seen anyone play it. I have never played it myself, so I'm gonna give it a D tier. These last two I have seen people play, and I have played a little bit of around my friend's house. Yeah, that's basically it. Alpha Omega, pretty cool. The Reagan Mark II upgrade thingamabobs, really sick. I do kind of like the Easter egg kind of for this, because then Nikolai takes control. It's kind of quite cool. I always wished in the original Nuketown Zombies there was an underground area. I tried to find it many times, thinking there was a secret hidden Easter egg. There never was. I kind of like Alpha Omega. It has a soft spot in my heart, but it's not the caliber of 9 or Classified or Nact. Even Nact is better than this map. So I'm going to give it a D tier. It's better than the original Nuketown, so they did improve on that quite a bit. Tag der Toten. One of the easiest maps ever created. No questions asked. Considering Call of the Dead is in my A tier, which is pretty decent for a Zombies map. Well, pretty decent for a Zombies map. Pretty decent for a Black Ops 1 map, considering there's only a few up there. Tag der Toten does open up a few different areas. Without George Romero, it's too easy. Tag der Toten is one of the easiest maps of all time. Black Ops 4, there's this rocket launcher that is very overpowered, as well as having a weird Wonderwaff thing. I think you can also have a Thunder Gun in this map. It's just ridiculously easy. The Easter egg for this isn't good to do. I don't think it's fun to do. I've not seen anyone do it, so I have no idea. But I've never heard anyone rave about it either, so I'm assuming it's bad. But the ending cutscene for this map seals the Zombies storyline, and it ends it all. So where it started with Tag der Toten, it was a C map, and where it ended, I'm going to also have to add Tag der Toten to that, because yes, it is easy map, but it still can have, it's still fun. All of these maps here are fun. Like, this is where the line is drawn. They're not good maps. No, they're not good maps. They're just fun to play casually. I say casually. Well, yeah, they are fun to play casually. Whereas these are too difficult for casual players and really kind of gay at times. And these are just shit. These are missed opportunities. These are fun to play with. Well, you have to be a good player to play these maps. They're fun to play, but only with the right kind of setting. These are all really good maps, but not quite good enough to get into the top list. These are all really good maps, don't get me wrong, but just have a few things missing, and these maps, in my opinion, are the perfect maps. Obviously, yes, I'm calling Doris a perfect map. If you have a problem with that, I will sort you out. Same with Ascension. Perfect map, don't diss me. Mob of the Dead, perfect. Nah, not perfect, but all of these maps are good. And yeah, that would be my tier list. If you disagree, tell me in the comments below. And yeah, I'll see you in the next video.